Oh no, I didn't turn the music up. I'll be starting here in just a minute. Oh no, I didn't turn the music up. I'll be starting here in just a minute. Oh no. Why am I hearing this? That's why. Welcome back. We're going to be doing some Redlines here. I think we're going to start off talking about some bathroom design. I think I've got everything here. So we're going to start to make some responses to something. Oh my goodness, that's annoying. All right. I don't understand. Oh. Global Industrial J800 exit sign. So all of a sudden, JM800SR, try that. I don't know why the one that I've used is not in here. Alright. I don't see anything that indicates like it can only come from here. So, I'm really curious about things. Enter a couple of notes that I missed in the last response. What's up, John? How you doing, man? let's see. Here's the last response. And this that you were looking to have a fixture selected before doing calcs. I would say go ahead and do the calculations with the option B fixture that Evan is wanting. And let us know how many fixtures that would be compared to, say, what was the, it was Columbia. $7,000. Option A. Go ahead and do the calculations with option D fixture that Evan is wanting. How many fixtures? How many fixtures would be required to meet the photometric requirements compared to option B, when it's 18,000 lumen output. We'd be looking to see if we can reduce the number of units needing to be installed by having a higher output, and what that does to affect the installation budget. How many fixtures we would need in order to meet the photometric requirements compared to the option B, it's 18,000, right? That's what we're looking for. And D, how many, what's the lumen output? What is the BL? BL is 170 watts. Calc 170 times 135. Wow. Oh, I meant option A. I said option B, but I meant option A. I also noticed that the exit lights we sent were ceiling mounted. We won't have a ceiling to mount to, so we need to find some wall mounted exit signs to put above the doors. I've had success using these in the past and submit them as a suggestion, as well as wall-mounted emergency light packs. Now what I need to do is find print items. Matt Emmons exit lights. Emergency lighting. So I can't find okay, so wall-mounted emergency light packs, wall-mounted exit sign light combo. Alright, I gotta go find these real quick. Oh, come on. This is killing me. Oh, come on. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay. I think I found it, and it is this one right here. Okay. Okay. Got that taken care of. I forgot about that. Whoops. Okay. So what do we want to do now? We want to look at these guys. These fucking. Why is this not doing anything? I'm just curious. Okay, so it doesn't have that feature, it looks like. It's done. This done. Did I turn my music back down? Yeah, I did. Good. Frampton residence. Did I change this? Everything's just a little bit slow today. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Issued PDFs. I think I'm looking for this one right here. Okay. Go ahead and also open the check residence. I think that's next. line cut. How's it going? Any questions so far about Redlines?
Oh, it's something you said on the cover. You said something about Tanner.
Yeah, that was a note to me to talk to Tanner about the gutters.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get these rural homes and they don't even use gutters. Just let the water shed off onto the land, which is fine. You just want to have a discussion. If they want to do that, you want to have a discussion about preparing the landscape around the house so that you don't end up with the water flowing back into the house.
Yeah.
So you want to put like usually you'll want to do like a pine straw or pine chip or rock bed that comes out 5 feet from the face of the house so that the water can run off into that, and then the water can run underneath that so you don't have like shedding water right on top of that. So just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page in terms of what he wanted to do. So so this master suite's kind of been a plague on this design. And what I want to do, let me tell you what I don't want this to be. I don't want this to be a discussion about what you did versus what I did. I want this to be a discussion about design and functionality and the beauty of what can be their master suite layout. Okay, so we're going to look at the problem we're trying to solve, what my thoughts on it are, and then we're going to look at the sketch that I did for the design layout, and then we're going to look at what you did to solve some of those other things that we did as well. We're going to talk about the problems that were solved, the problems that weren't solved, and maybe some ideas. Come up with a way to go through those. So and really the reason that I wanted to talk to you about this is because I wanted to make sure you understood that I'm not devaluing what you did as a design, and that I want to encourage this type of coordination on other projects, future projects. Anytime we get stumped on something like this where we have a design problem that we're trying to solve, to be open about not just open coordination, but also open-minded about getting other people's ideas and figuring out, okay, yeah, that is a great idea. Let's incorporate that and see how we can mesh that with something else that's another great idea. And also, to kind of help you understand that, the house we do after this is going to be better than this one. Okay, not because it might be a bigger house, and not because it was a better site or anything like that. It's inherently going to be better because we've had practice. We have experience with this one, and we build on top of that experience for the next one. So everything about it's going to be better. The documentation, the communication with the client, and it's not because we didn't like this client. It's just that's the way experience works, right? So we don't have to find the perfect solution. We just have to find the perfect solution that we can give them now for what they want. Okay. Gotcha. So, a couple of things. I'm going to write down this list of things as we're going through of things that they definitely need. Okay, so they definitely want. I'm going to have to do it in something that I'm going to be able to read. Oh my goodness. I was about to say. This is a great program until it deletes all of your brushes that you've been collecting. What is it with Autodesk and Unity where they just like deleting all the stuff that you do? There it is. One of these. None of those. There we go. Okay. So, client definitely needs a corner tub.
A
Corner tub. That's literally one of the only things they won't budge on is this tub in the corner right here.
Yeah.
Has to be a corner tub. I've tried to convince them that they don't need a corner tub, that they have to have a corner tub. Okay, one of the other things that they're pretty adamant about, 2 sinks. And I think we can probably convince them to do something where they're back to back or along the same wall, but they definitely want 2 sinks. Okay, and this is from, let me see if I can find resources. This would have been from a while back. Client images. Huh. I had forgotten about this picture, but that's kind of what they're getting, isn't it?
Basically.
I had forgotten about that. Let's see here. There's a floor plan somewhere that they sent, which showed the corner bath. Come on. That's the corner shower. Yeah, come on. And I remember this one, this was basically, they said this is basically the layout we want with a few tweaks. So you can see we've got a lot of similarities here. We've got the foyer with the dining room right off it, great room, living room, kitchen. We put a buffer space in there with a library in between, which they were happy about. But they didn't really like any of this right here. They wanted a bigger closet, and they didn't want a corridor entrance into the kitchen from the garage. So that's another thing that we're trying to fix with ours as well. Is that it's less of a corridor, more of a functional space that you're going between the garage and the kitchen. So let me see. I know that there is somewhere. They sent a PDF with a hand-drawn bathroom layout. And it would have been before this, because that's already got the corner in there. I don't know why Bluebeam has been so slow today. This is going to be the 4th or 5th time it's crashed today, just from opening a PDF. And I have a feeling it's because it's opening it over the network. Copy. I'm gonna throw this. Now that I've got this open, I'm going to close it. I'm just going to see. Yeah, it's because it's opening it over the network. Well, I say that, it's still, there it goes. Wasn't that one anyway. Huh. Maybe it's the one that says client Redlines bathroom. What do you think?
Could be with the corner bath.
And I'm gonna have to talk to Jerome about the network. Okay. So this was a drawing that they sent me. It was 2 drawings that they sent me on what they really wanted for a bathroom. So you can kind of see how some of this has come together. I don't know what they pulled this out of, if it's from somewhere that they've lived before or it was a plan that they liked. But this is kind of what they are wanting to see. So you can see they've got those 2 right there. I think they had back to back right here, but both of them have the corner bathtubs, right? And let's see if maybe I think that was pretty good. Okay, so let's talk about kind of what that does for the design. I'm a big fan of opening the master bathroom doors and seeing a focal point, which in my case has always been the bathtub. If there's a freestanding tub, that's usually going to be the focal point of the bathroom, as opposed to putting, these facing the doors. Like when you open the door, you see the sinks, which if it's a really nicely done cabinetry, maybe that's what it is. It becomes that right there. But there's something, since it's a master suite, there's something a bit more intimate about having just that if this, especially with the way we have these doors set up, if you open those and it just flows into that space, how that one big space with the opening comes when you're looking at the bathtub. Okay, so that's kind of been this whole idea, is from here, from that corner, this would be 45 degrees, we need to have enough space for this door to stay centered, okay, because right now we're looking kind of off-centered. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but that would drive me nuts.
I was thinking about that before, but we wanted double doors, so I was like,
Mm-hmm. Well, and it doesn't have to be a double door. Oh, wait. Did they say double door? Or did I
just saw that on one of the red lines you said put double door.
Yeah, you're probably right. I probably wanted it to be. Yeah, you're right. I know that I did. But some of the problems that this presents us, and I was going to take a quick screenshot of this, and then let's see if it will let me.
How did you do that, by the way?
Do what?
Drag the screenshot that.
Oh, the screenshot, I use a program called ShareX,
Oh, share it.
And it actually lets me automatically upload pictures to Imgur, so I can share that with other people.
Wow, that's awesome.
It helps with when you're trying to show people something. I also do, it can do screen recordings, like video recordings. So I do video recordings, and I actually have those. I upload those to my server. But what?
You were screenshotting.
Yes, thank you. You knew what I was looking for. What I was trying to do is I was trying to get it into here, but sometimes, yeah, it's gonna work this time. Yay! All right. So there's a couple things that a corner bathtub does to us, right? We can't really, if we want to keep this opening orthogonal, like this right here, then in order to have a bathtub that opens either way, then this has to be, you know, something like this. And that kind of destroys the outside aesthetic of this house. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, because that would give us, you know, that bathtub right there in the corner. One of these days I'm going to learn how to use layers properly. Let's put another layer in here. Boom. I highly recommend, by the way, Sketchbook is a free program, but if you want to get the pro features like the brushes and layers and stuff like that, it's $30 for a year.
Wow.
And it's, if you want to get into sketching, you can put it on your iPhone, you can put it on your computer, you can put it on. That $30 a year is whatever device you want to install it on. You can use it on all of them. So, and it's one of my favorite programs to use right now. It's pretty cool. So this layout that we have right here, right now, kind of, you can see that it mimics this thing that they gave us here, right? So it's basically this rotated. Okay, and the only thing that it really lacks is that instead of having the shower right up against the tub here, okay, we needed an entrance into the closet. So we basically stretched that out in order to get that entrance into the closet. Which I'm not sure what's going on here. I think we just need the pocket door. We either need a pocket door or a barn door. I think a pocket door is going to work better. But we don't need both. Let's do this. And I'm not sure too, I also saw these lines right here. I'm not sure what those are, because this one goes like all the way down here.
Oh, maybe it's a detail one.
Kind of, it feels like it's a shelf or of some sort that's been put in there, but I'm not sure. That's definitely not going to work. Okay, anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So the couple things that I don't like about the situation we're in right now is this angled wall. I'm not a big fan of the angled wall. Okay, they're okay with it, which sometimes as designers we have to eat our feelings and go with what the client wants. Okay, but there's a couple things that it's doing to us in this room that I don't like. Okay, so from a psychological standpoint, this is all wasted space.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is the space that you're going to perceive when you walk into this room. Okay, so one of the things that we need to solve is how do we either reduce this wasted space here or make it functional. You know, we can put, you know, furniture or something right here, and that makes it a little more functional, but it also hides the door from here, which that might be okay. You know, it might just be necessary only that we need to see it from here. Okay. The other thing that it does is it off centers our bed. So we essentially, when we're considering the design of the bed and the windows and how that operates, we're essentially using from between these two lines as our space for the bed. So the bed and the nightstands and the windows and everything that's supposed to line up needs to be centered on that space right there. And if we move this wall in either direction, we have to consider that. Okay. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is the shape of this space. So this space, this whole bedroom space, I can live with. All right, but we have to. I'm not a big fan of that extra wasted space. What it also does to us is this is just such a funky space, right? It's like, what shape is that? And in my opinion, if you can't say what the name of the shape is, it probably shouldn't be in a design.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, the name of this space is leftover, right? It's called a leftover. What shape is that? Leftover. So I'd like for this to make more sense, even if it's, so we've got, this is, you know, a 5-sided shape and it all comes together. Mm-hmm. Okay, if we can do something like that here, I would be okay with that, because this looks much more designed than that right there. I know I didn't draw that right, but does that make sense? Does that?
It does make sense.
I mean, do you feel the same way about that?
Yeah, because it's hard to design around it.
So, I mean, we can start looking at things like, how do these two boxes interact, is essentially what we're doing. We're creating this kind of connection between those 2 points and where they intersect. And if we get rid of that intersection and we have these two spaces, we can start thinking a little bit more about, well, what can we do to make this feel more appropriate, like it belongs as part of the design. Okay, so whether that means that this needs to come out more, okay, to give us more space to bring this wall in or push it up, okay, that could be a solution, and that kind of sucks all of this in as well. All right. Another thing that we need to think about is what's going on with this space. Can we kind of absorb that space somehow with everything else, right? Would it be possible, maybe it becomes something more like this, where our foyer to the bedroom is like this, and if we're bringing all that out, then we can put our shower up here, and we can maybe then use this as the water closet, or this, maybe this whole thing becomes the water closet. It's just big, or we can grow the pantry out even. Maybe the pantry gets bigger. Give them a bigger pantry, and then you've got your toilet kind of taking up that space. And another plus is if we do that, we put the toilet here, we already have plumbing in this wall, right? So now we have what we call a wet wall, where we have a wall that's basically tripling function, because we've got water here, we've got water here, we've got water here. So that's a very efficient wall that we're using, right? We don't have to have a plumbing wall here, and then a plumbing wall here, and then, you know, all these different ones. So and the only reason that I think that I did this, right, as opposed to, keep time, the reason that I did this with the water closet down here is because we needed to suck up that space. I don't really like the idea of having dead space in a building that doesn't have multiple floors. If you have multiple floors and you need to run stuff up and down to those walls, it makes perfect sense to have something like this, where we're you know, running ducts or pipes or something up and down the wall. And we could maybe even still use that where we're coming down from the attic and dispersing out, but since the attic's right above it, usually you just go straight down through the wall. Okay. And you can see also that with this one, this shape kind of straightened itself up a little bit. So what we essentially ended up with was this shape. With an extra space here. And then all this was divided amongst all those different things. Okay, so a little bit simpler geometrically. It doesn't give them the corner shower, but it does give them a shower.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the shower being closer on the same side of the bathroom as the tub, but it might just be that it just doesn't make sense to do that. Unless we find a way to do something where we have the toilet right here, and then we give them enough room to have an entrance into a really big shower. Right, it takes up that space.
Okay.
So I think there's a couple of options there. All right. And
did you save your other draft?
That one?
Yeah.
Yep. It's just a different layer. That's why I like this program. It's like having infinite number of trash roll layers to lay on top of things. So the other aspect, and you saw in the Redlines that we're having to think of, is the makeup vanity, right? And I think the best solution for that is taking it out of the bathroom and putting it in the closet where she's going to be getting ready for the day. You know, if she's putting makeup on, do it where the clothes are, where you can put some good lighting in there, as opposed to kind of this wet area here. So, and I don't know, I've never worn makeup, so you might have a different opinion on that.
Yeah.
So feel free to express an opinion on that. But what I was thinking is we get rid of the double dresser and we essentially just drop the makeup vanity right here in the middle of the closet. And give it some good lighting just for that. So as opposed to out here in this closet area, in the bathroom area. It might also be that that's what ends up being here.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But then again, if you have guests that want to see your room or want to have your vanity in your master bedroom.
Yeah. So I will say that they did have it in the bathroom on this one here.
Honestly, I would have it in the bathroom.
In the bathroom? Okay.
I would.
So the question then becomes, where do we put that? So, and that brings me to the solution that you had. Okay, so I want to talk about this solution here real quick. And I think I understand why you did most of the things, so I'm going to just kind of give my critique of it.
Yeah.
Okay, which is not a personal attack,
Okay,
it's just a critique. What I see here, and then you can tell me kind of what you thought in terms of why you did something if I'm not, if my critique doesn't capture that. So the first thing that caught my attention is the thing that I just talked about, is this shape right here, and I'm tracing around the water closet because that does read as a separate mass, because this wall goes all the way up. So it's kind of this globule shape where it's not really defined very well. So I don't have a problem with fitting all these things in here, but I think we need to define it a little bit better. It needs to come together a little bit better. Okay. The other thing was I feel like this closet's just really big. This is a lot of glass. Okay, this is a lot of glass. So this would probably be more along the lines of a wall right here. And it might even also be a little bit shorter. So it would probably be, it would tighten up just a little bit. This, I think this right here. So, I mean, you tell me, how comfortable would you be squeezing in here, get down into the bathroom, into the toilet? Right, it's a really tight space. The door, well, I don't even know, I'm not even sure that that door, did you check to make sure that door would open?
I think I did.
Because it feels like it wouldn't fully open. It could just be that it's really close, but even still, this is a 2'4" door, so you essentially have to go down a 2'4" hallway for 3 feet and then go into the door. So, and just to give you a frame of reference, the doors on our bathrooms downstairs are 3-foot doors.
Okay.
Okay, so this is already a small door. It's not a small door, it's just you can't wheelchair through it. Yeah. Let's see. Which I wanted to ask you, did you put a 2'4" door in there just to because of the constraints, or was it a 2'4" door already?
I was trying to have room for the trim.
Right, but I wanted to check and see because I think it's okay. That's a 2'8" door. So, and I think you've heard me talk about aging in place before. Have you heard that term, aging in place? So, we like for delineations projects, we like to try to adhere to aging in place standards, which is, it's kind of like accessibility standards, but for residential. It's more of guidelines as opposed to code, strict code. You know, for commercial buildings, you have to keep to a very strict accessibility code for everything. There are some accessibility things that just make sense to do in a house. But when we're designing a home that's somebody's forever home, or they could possibly live there for 10 plus years, we like to do what's called aging in place. And those are things like considering how, if someone becomes disabled, either from old age or through an accident, how do they go to the bathroom? Okay, this master suite, you cannot get a wheelchair in there to get down into that bathroom. All the doorknobs, instead of round doorknobs, we like to put levers because it's a lot easier for people who can't grip, which happens when you get older and you're in an accident. It's one of the first things to go. It's your ability to hold on to things. So levers are a lot easier to open. Okay, so we try to do lever hardware, or we convince them to do lever hardware. At least one ramped entry. So if this door is not, or if this slab is higher than this slab, we try to do some kind of ramping up. Okay, or even in the front or back, if it's someone who's already disabled, we'll design that as a ramp surface. So there's some accessibility things that we try to adhere to, like the 3-foot opening so you can wheelchair all the way through this house. Okay, is that a 3-foot door? That's a 3-foot door. That's 2'8". So that's a little bit narrow. You could still put a wheelchair through there, but it would take a lot of concentration. Okay, so those are some things to keep in mind as you're doing this, and you can look up aging in place standards. There's guidelines on it, so you can look it up, and it's a big document, so you kind of have to glance through it to get what you want out of it. But those are some things we like to keep in mind. So another thing is this is a lot of wasted space along this wall right here. There's just nothing going on, which I know it seems like you know that's a design problem right there. So I think that there's a lot of, like, picture yourself, and we have Revit, so you don't even have to picture yourself, but you can go into Revit and create a camera right here and just ask yourself, if I walked into this while I was doing like Parade of Homes or something like that, what would be my reaction to the space? Personally, I'd walk into this and I'd say this is a uselessly large bathroom because it's just a big open space. And a lot of times when I feel that way, it's usually because it was just leftover space that the designer didn't know what to with, but they were trying to fit a certain shape. Sometimes that's how you design. That's just the way it comes out. But I always feel that there could have been a better solution if just a little bit more time was spent trying to get those things to come together a little bit better. And I feel like you've got the right elements. We just have to kind of tighten it up a little bit. Right. So this is like that loose steering because something's not quite right on your car versus that brand new car steering feel, you know, where it's really tight and reactive. So that's kind of what I want our designs to be like, is that brand new car where everything just feels like it's working right. So the other thing that I've noticed, one of the other things that I don't like about any of the designs that have come up is this guy right here. I mean, that's a 5:30 in the morning gut check waiting to happen, right? Yeah. Accidentally walking into that corner. That's how you wake up every morning. So I don't know if this returns back like this, right? Or something. Maybe we have to reduce the size of that door. Maybe it becomes, what is it right now? Is it a 4-foot door? 5-foot door. So maybe this is a 4-foot door with 2 panels. It could possibly even be a 3-foot door with 2 1'6" panels to fit in right there. We want to make sure that whatever happens, that when this opens all the way, we can fit there. So if this is a 2'6" panel, I'm just going to trace. No, I'm not. I'm not going to trace it. Oh. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this down here, and this is a good way to check. Right, so that's not a good way to check. There we go. So that door would not be able to open all the way. Okay. Now we want to be sure that does happen, that we want to be able to open that. Same thing here. Okay, so just be sure, and you know, these doors, the ones that are angled, you can actually, there's a parameter here called door swing, so you can actually check to make sure that they open 90 degrees, if you want to check that. Or even further, if you want to make sure that it can swing all the way open, or clearance for a wheelchair or something, you can make sure that you have the clearance behind the wall. Let's get that to open up more. Unfortunately, these don't have, I haven't spent the time to make these parametric to slide all the way open to test and make sure. But we should probably put like some dash lines that show what the clearance is on those. So those are kind of my thoughts on where we'd like to go. I think we can tighten up this whole thing. Okay, so keep that in mind when you go back and do this. I want to let you do that. Okay, so keep in mind kind of keeping everything tight. Do you understand what I'm saying with that, between the tight and the loose analogy?
Yeah, I understand, because even when I'm looking at it right now, it just seems like a lot of open space. So
exactly.
Basically not making everything crammed together, but functional.
Yeah. Yeah, so as much as I don't like corner bathroom setups, now I have to wait for this to open again. Okay. As much as I don't like corner bathrooms, this feels like everything belongs together, right? You don't have to go on a morning hike to get from the sinks to the shower, right? So, and it's not the biggest bathroom, but it feels to human scale. Okay. This is starting to get a little big. This space can kind of feel like you're getting a little lost in here. And this definitely feels larger than human scale. Okay. So we kind of want that space in our bedrooms because it's a relaxing feeling. But we're not laying down or relaxing in the bathrooms. We're usually standing. The only place we're really laying down is maybe in the bathtub. And if you think about standing bathtubs like that, usually there's like a lower ceiling above them or some kind of alcove around them that kind of closes in that space to feel a little bit more comfortable. as opposed to a giant, open space. So I think we can tighten this up a little bit. And again, not to criticize your ability to design, just to point out some things that we can do. So I think that the key to this is going to be figuring out what to do with this kind of leftover space that was there, and how to make that all fit with these shapes. What did I just do? These shapes right here. How do we make these work together as a space? And how do we connect between them without messing up, And I think you saw my notes where I'm thinking about putting those high windows up here. It's going to be unbalanced when you're looking on the outside here. It's going to look like it's skewed to one side, but I care more about the inside, the interior wall. And then I think I also put 2 high windows here because they'll probably have like a TV right there.
Okay.
I noticed that you don't like putting beds under windows. Is that a thing, or is it?
I don't know. To me, it just seems a little weird.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I always grew up with my bed. I always enjoyed having my bed under the window. In Georgia, 6 months out of the year, you can sleep with the window open. Nice.
When I think about it, I always think of a headboard. Right.
Yeah, so you've got the headboard also. Yep, you got the headboard. So, a lot of times you'll see the designs in Patriot Home, they've got those windows on each side of the bed. And we can't do that here, really. I'd like to have a window on each side, but we do have this window, right, which is a lot of northern light coming in. That's a lot of really good indirect light coming in. So we want to give them a little bit more window edge. We want to give them some more window light coming in. So I'm kind of thinking of just, this isn't going to be really good light because it's under the covered space. So it's going to be really dark light. It's going to be more of an opening than actual light coming in. And I don't know that putting the bed on this wall is going to be a very good design move. I think they're going to prefer it to be on the same wall as the door going into the bathroom.
That will make sense.
So I don't know. I hate making this bedroom bigger, but if we have to move this out in order to get windows on each side, we might have to do that. But if we can solve this bathroom, maybe we can solve this where this wall comes down a little bit more. We're able to fit windows on each side of the bed. That might work also.
Okay.
So, but I was also curious about the bed thing because I know it's very much against feng shui to have a bed against the wall with a window.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
So if you're really interested in interior design, look up feng shui, which I think it's Feng feng shui. Yeah. So, and it's a Chinese philosophy about how setting things up in your house can provide a better qi flow, energy flow through your house and thus through your person. And things like putting your bed against, I think it was something like if you put your bed against a wall with a window, it allows evil energy to come sap your energy while you're sleeping. It's beliefs like that.
Oh, okay.
But there's some weird truthful qualities to it. Like if you think about some of the things in it, you're like, well, that kind of makes sense, to not do that. And it's just interesting how some people will set up their entire house based on that.
Oh wow!
And it's got some interesting stuff. So, but when you were doing the bed setup, in the Vaughn house. I was like, she didn't put a single one of those beds on a wall with a window. I wonder if she's studied the art of feng shui.
I don't know. It just seems right to put. I don't know where a bed where you can just put a headboard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any questions about anything that we've talked about?
I do have a question
Yep.
about the redesign. So, are you wanting me to just try to figure out I know you want me to figure out a more functional way for the bathroom, squeeze everything together. But are you wanting me to like extend this or make it to a pantry or put some of my ideas into it?
Yeah, I'm okay with you doing that,
Okay.
as long as we try to tighten up these spaces right here. As long as we try to tighten up those spaces. Well, let me do that. No, it will not. I wonder why it did that. It shouldn't be. Oh, that's why.
I was thinking with the corner.
Boom. That space right there.
Okay.
I think if we can tighten up those spaces and how they connect to each other, that's going to be.
Put the don't worry about the water closet, or does that have to? Is that connected?
Right. So it can be the water closet can be included in this. How's it going?
Do you mind if we head out at 4:30? I got here at 7:30.
Man, Holly, I don't know. Yeah, that's fine. You can either include that in there, or you can put it outside here. But it's going to be either completely, like, I wouldn't include this bathroom as part of this space. It's the way that a mass feels, right? So if you walk into this room right here, then the space, oh my goodness, actually that would have worked out well. The space that you're going to perceive is this shape right here. Why is it? This is the shape of the space that you're going to perceive, okay? Because this is a solid wall, right? You can't see into this space except through the door. It's not part of the shape of the space. The shower, on the other hand, if this is all glass, it's transparent and it only goes up part of the way. So even if this was a wall and it went up 7 feet or 6 feet as opposed to all the way up, you would still be able to see this corner here, and you would read that shape as that full shape of the room. Okay. So whether you end up bringing the water closet into, what do I keep doing? Whether this is outside or inside, what you don't want to do is something like this with the shape. Okay, because that just gets us right back to where we were. Does that make sense?
It does.
So if you brought that in here, it would read as a completely different shape. Now what you could do is you could share a wall between the shower and the toilet, right? In which case you would want to think about maybe making this more like a Patriot Home shower, and you've got a solid wall that goes all the way up with a glass arched entry. Okay, and then we've kind of complicated the shape a little bit more by doing this right here, but I think that that's more acceptable because this is going to be a glass opening instead of a door. So I think that this would be more acceptable than doing that with just a glass shower.
Yeah, that'll look awkward.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, I'll just look it up and see if I could put a vanity in between the sinks.
Oh yeah. drop vanity counter between sinks.
I think I saw that before. It wasn't.
We've done it
cornered.
before.
It
I think
wasn't cornered,
I think we're doing it in the what? Why is my macro not working? So one of these is a drop-down vanity, but you're essentially talking about.
Oh, okay.
This is the check house.
Okay.
So they've got back-to-back like this, and I think one of them is it. So that's casework, and I think this is actually a drop-down makeup vanity.
Okay.
Inside the built into the cabinetry. So this is kind of what you're talking about right here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? The only thing you want to be careful about with stuff like this is that think about the kind of lighting you want when you're doing makeup, right? You want you want lighting like you have in a jewelry store for when you're doing makeup, because that's going to give you the best natural lighting effect. If you do makeup in fluorescent lighting and then spend your day out in the sun, your face is going to look really orange because you colored it based on blue lighting instead of white lighting. Mm-hmm. So this actually works because you have natural daylight coming in. You also have your neighbors looking at you on makeup. So you have, and it actually looks like streaked right there. So everyone passing by in the morning gets to watch you put on your makeup in this bathroom. So you think about what you need to do. This is actually not a bad idea, right? So you've got mirrors right here, and you have
the natural light.
Side lighting, not top lighting. So you want enough space to put sconces on the side, because you don't want a nose shadow and eyelid shadow from lighting above when you're doing your makeup. You want it to come in from the side, right? So you want to be able to put sconce lighting on each side. So if you were to do this,
could you put a window on each side of the corner?
So that was the other thing. I'm glad you said that. That's another thing that I think you've been struggling with that I want to show you. Corner glazing. Okay. So we want to do some kind of corner glazing, not floor to ceiling, but just above the bathtub for this right here. This isn't going to be two windows next to each other. See, we've got this right here, and also I think you called out. You pointed to the thing in there and called it out as corner glazing.
That's pretty funny because I actually looked it up.
So we want to. You might have to model this in place. You might be able to find a corner window unit. I bet if you look up Revit corner window, and I think there might actually be one somewhere in the library that you can use. It's going to take a little bit of editing because it won't cut both walls. It'll only cut one of the walls. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And actually, this reminds me, this is actually a Revit corner glazing. So you can use the curtain wall tool or curtain system tool to draw corner glazing in like this, which is perfectly fine. So let's see, images.google.com. I just googled images.google.com. That's ridiculous. Pink Floyd.
It's not Friday yet.
That's the sad thing. Where'd my mouse go? Corner glazing. I actually need to be going here soon. So you can see there's some nice craftsman style things that we can do, and this is closer to a craftsman style of the house that we're designing for the Framptons. Okay, so it'll look something closer to this that we're putting in.
They want that in the bathroom, all the way
at the bathtub. They want a corner. They want a corner.
Even window. All the way.
No, not all the way down. Just above your corner glazing, right here. So there's going to be a shelf behind the tub.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be from that height up to whatever
Okay.
whatever height. And then, so that brings me back to your question here. Yeah, sure, we could do that here. And that actually might work because there's nothing except trees over here. You've got some nice northern lighting coming. And that might actually be kind of cool to have symmetrical corner glazing on each side there. So, might be something that we can do. So, yeah, that might work. Just looking at, we have to keep in mind lateral bracing on these guys. When we take the corners out, that significantly reduces the strength of the building. So we got to think about making sure the house doesn't do that right there. All right. Anything else?
I do have a question about connecting the roofs.
Okay.
I looked up some pictures, and I was trying to figure between the garage and I think it's the master closet.
Here and here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about that note that I had here about dropping this down, or?
Well, you're
talking about this this condition right here.
Yes.
So I think we could actually solve this by doing something like this. I'm just going to do it really quick. We're going to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one and we're going to do this. It's kind of a weird angle. I think it's supposed to line up with this here. Just going to see what this does real quick. But the thing with this one is, instead of, we're dropping it down a foot. Okay. Didn't I? Oh, I gotta delete the rest of the lines. Okay. So this is gonna start getting a little bit funky, but I think it'll work. So this drops down to 9 feet. That drops down to 9 feet. Oh, those need to be two different. The bathroom ceiling should still be 10 feet. And then the closet ceiling down to 9 feet. So what this kind of does is it kind of separates things a little bit. Let's see if this will join to that. I did not expect that to happen. So it kind of separates things just a little bit more in terms of what's happening here versus what's happening here. I don't know. Is that always at 9 feet? I thought this was at 10 feet. Did that just move? That's actually what I wanted right there. So this part of the roof right here would go away. This little part that's a little dingleberry hanging out right there. And I think this does need to be at 9 feet because we've got a little bit of rain collection going on right there. That works better. I still have a little bit going on right here. See how it's draining into that right there. So we might have to do a little bit more figuring out there. But this is kind of what I was thinking there on how to make that happen. So does that answer your question in terms of?
It does.
Okay.
It does. And then it will be a wall in between that, right? Near the back of the garage. Yeah,
there'll be a wall right here. Okay. This wall right here, I believe, continues. Yeah, so this wall will be built all the way up to support that roof.
Okay.
And there will probably be, well, I guess the ceiling will be in there, so you wouldn't be able to see that. So there wouldn't be anything there. All right.
All right.
What else?
I think that was it.
Okay, I gotta get out of here because I gotta take Noah to soccer practice tonight.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have fun.
Yep.
Is this his first soccer practice?
It's the second time with this team, so we'll see how it goes. All right. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll see you.